Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan. Thank you for coming to my channel and for supporting me in this wonderful, wonderful hobby. We're back at the big tank, the 135 gallon freshwater display aquarium that is not in my fish room, but rather in the dining room of my house here in Chicago. And that's what we're looking at here. It's quiet and dim. It's raining like heck outside, so hopefully that will mitigate the reflection from my filming, because that window is often, and there it is, you can see a little bit of it in the left-hand corner, but less than usual and not relevant. As I said, we're back at this aquarium. I'm going to do an overview and I'm going to talk about some of the creatures in here, some of the challenges I've been having, a lot of the productivity, things I like, things I am working on. Same stuff you do in your aquariums, the same stuff I love to watch you guys talk about on your channels. So let's have at it. Where to begin? Where to begin? Oftentimes, as of late, I've gone into the plants first, but these fish are just bonkers, right? Like fireworks exploding right in front of us. So let's start with them. I have a group of Bosemani rainbow fish, and there's a male right there with the beautiful orange flame in the tail. I've got both males and females. There's another male, and there's a couple females down there. As you can see, they're nowhere near as spectacular as their male counterparts. There's a big one right there. But I think it's advantageous to have females with your males, with this species in particular, but with all species in general. There are some exceptions. Rainbow fish will be fine, a group of the more flashy males, but I think they're finer if they've got their feminine counterparts. Staying with the rainbow fish, these are the dwarf neon rainbow fish, and honestly, these full-grown adults aren't that dwarf. They're silver dollar sized for sure in their own shape, and I've got a group of about 12 maybe. So the smaller one with the yellow tail is a female. The yellow is beautiful, it's more subtle and elegant, and the males are the ones with these blazing orange dorsal and caudal fins. And that shimmer is on both sexes. So beautiful. Hopefully this camera is doing it justice. I think it is. It's like bioluminescent. I mean, it's not, but that's what the scales, that's the way they reflect the light and capture the light and show it to us. Stunning fish, underrated in my opinion, inexpensive, easy to find at lots of shops, and given the right conditions, a small, modest group you might see at the pet store or online when they come in the bag, all shell-shocked. You give them the right conditions and they're gonna look like this. Look at that beauty. Are you kidding me? Okay, well, I have 3 monster millennium rainbow fish, these teacup-sized red beauties. It's like a rust red, and it's all-encompassing. It's not splotchy, it's not stronger on one side or another. The tails, I suppose, have a little bit more orange in them, but that red and that size and that shape, they're just crazy beautiful and unusual. A crowd pleaser. The tiny face with the big body. It's cute, it's funny, adorable maybe, spectacular definitely. And I've got 3 of those, and I do not have, in my estimation, a female. Maybe I'll get one though, because as I said earlier, that's my strong philosophy in fish keeping, both sexes. This is the opaline or pearl gourami, not pearl gourami, excuse me, opaline gourami or blue gourami. I got 2 of them from Dan at Sydney's Angels, and he's still selling them. I bought them as juveniles, or he might have even gifted me the pair because I went to his house, and they were just small. They looked like the ones you see at Petco, just kind of a gray fish. But now they too are stunning crowd pleasers. I've said in earlier videos, even with all these amazing fish, people tend to say, "What's that? I like that one." It's the behavior, the ventral fins, the big eyes, and the shimmer of silver, black, and white, the speckled tail. I have 2 of these beauties. They get along just fine. They're pigs, but so are a lot of the fish in here in terms of feeding, not in terms of their disposition or the mess they make. That's not what I meant by pigs. They're pigs in their appetite, just like this guy. Holy cow. That is a Siamese algae eater, the reticulated version. Some people think it's the best version for one reason or another. It still eats algae. I've seen it doing its job, but as they get sized like this, their omnivorous tendencies take over, and they're chow hounds. You know, if I put a bunch of frozen brine shrimp or bloodworms in here, he will eat the lion's share, and there's no stopping him. But I still see him chowing on blackbeard algae where it occurs, and it's not occurring, so he is helping doing that job. I have 5 angelfish, not anything rare, but certainly stunning. This is the long fin variety of the classic Scalare classic silver angelfish. And there is a short fin variety of the same thing. And there is another long fin variety of the classic angelfish. That one's been in here forever. Beautiful fish, and they have spawned these 2, but not lately. At least nothing I've seen. I haven't seen the behavior either, and that could be for myriad reasons. I added other angelfish more recently, like this classic yellow-headed marble, one of the more common in the hobby, but stunning in so many ways. Just that black and white with that orange top. Very common and inexpensive fish, but you give it the right care and conditions, and it's a crowd pleaser, a showstopper. Now the 5th angelfish, if I can find the poor deer, he's in the back right now, so it's not gonna, I mean, I wish he would come out. He's healthy, but he has a cataract, or one of his eyes, he's blind in one eye. It's that Pinoy back there. I swear he's not dying or anything for whatever reason. He's just back there right now, but he does struggle with the lack of vision in one eye. My feeling is he ran into a piece of the hardscape during a feeding frenzy and injured his eye, and it calcified, or he lost sight in that eye. Hopefully he'll come out so I can prove to you that other than that, he's doing okay. I've got, let's go to the left here. I've got 2 schools of smaller fish, small schooling fish, the Harlequin rasbora and the cardinal tetra. They're right at home in the long strands of jungle veil. They will move to the other side of the aquarium at different times of the day, but overall they seem to prefer that section for whatever reason. Has nothing to do with fear. That's their territory. No idea how many I have of each. The live bearers in here, many are accidents. The black mollies, the gold dust molly. Look at that beauty. I didn't put any of these black mollies in here to keep as adults. I put them in as tiny fry to feed these other fish, and some survived, and there they are, and I believe they're producing as well. And fortunately, a lot of their young do get predated, so they hopefully won't overrun this tank, which has plenty of fish population, But there they are. I have a couple longfin swordtails in here. I did lose some. They don't live forever, especially the more exotics. For whatever reason, their time on planet Earth is not as significant. And there's one there. That's actually not one I put in. That one grew out. I'm not sure if it's a molly or a swordtail with the long fin, the veal tail. This is one that I had bought at a swap. Beautiful fish. So I got lucky with a lot of the ones that grew up. At least they grew up into flamboyant fish, like that orange one back there. Begging your pardon with the focus. You know, I appreciate all fish, and I like standard fin and short fin, but you know, in a big display tank, more is more, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and a lot more beholders like fancy fins than not. True hobbyists might go the other way with that. I've got so many plants here in this aquarium. Nothing rare. You saw the veils. There's some pogostem and octopus right there on the left. And I have cryptocorn all across the bottom. This is some Hygrophila arugula, and it would prefer to be more intensely lit than all the way at the bottom here. And if it was, the colors and vigorousness of the plant would be even better, but it's hanging in there. And there's another small group of it right here. And then look at all the Bucephalandra. That is doing fantastic. Here is the plant basically just reaching out into space, and you see the rootstock going down. I could cut that and plant it. And the reason why, even though there's plenty of crevices, the reason why I don't stick more Anubias and Bucephalandra into a lot of the open crevices that are still here in the tank, like those right there, are because there are countless bottom dwellers in here beyond the beautiful Sterbai Corridora and the Adolphi Corridora, which I'm sure we'll see one before it's all over. But I have plecos, different kinds, and I have other forms of catfish. There's a plecostomus right there. I think that's an ordinary short fin. But I've got the long fin of those, the albino of those, the super red, and the lemon blue eye. All of them are in here. And they have reproduced, and they use those as their natural caves. There are, I can't count, fortunately it's not a crap ton, but there are numerous baby plecos of different sizes from different parents. There's one here, this is a juvenile. It's by far not a baby anymore. I didn't put that in here. And there's more. I also have, let's see if I can find them down here. There is a baby Farawala catfish. They bred in here too. Let's see. I mean, that's 1.5 inches, not including the tail. I didn't put that in here. I put big ones in here. In the back, you can see a larger bristlenose albino. It's right in the center of your frame here. I mean, they're camouflaged in a big display tank with a lot of cryptocorn and that shimmer. That shimmer, by the way, comes from the Kessel lights. Kessels are expensive, and they don't grow plants better than any good LED or good to great LED, but they create this natural shimmer that other lights, a strip LED, just won't do. I mean, isn't that cool? So it's hard to focus. It's hard for me even to find with my naked eye some of the fish I'm talking about now with all that's going on there. That's a forest of cryptocorn growing from runner to runner to runner, merging with the Bucephalandra. Looks like the eye of a bristlenose super red back there. That orange-red color, that's a fish. I've got sword plants in here as well. And they're breaching the surface, especially this one. Right now, all you see underwater are these great, like, oh God, it reminds me of some form of architecture, that fan of stems. Now I'm going to open the lid and show you that's what it is, and it's outside of the aquarium. And sword plants do that, and they'll do that in your tanks if they haven't already. But because I have a lid on this tank, and it's a beautiful one, and because of the height and all, people won't be able to appreciate the emerged growth. But you know, and I know it's there. And there's something really cool about this fan. Right in the center too. I mean, I stuck that sword plant deep down in the center of all that hardscape, 2 pieces of bogwood or ironwood and some Sirius stone, and planted everything up and around it in that sword. It took a while for it to manifest, but it certainly did, and now it's this really cool way to form a centerpiece in what essentially is an island aquascape. Now there's, you know, that being the hardscape is focused to the center of the aquarium with little or no rock or wood to the left and right. But obviously the amount of plants have negated the impact of an island, and I'm okay with that, especially if the plants are healthy, which most of these are, not all. I do get, you know, some yellowing leaves on epiphytes, like that one there, with some spot algae here and there, like on this Bucephalandra. There's Otocinclus in here, nereids, and some mystery snails. And you know, the mollies are brilliant algae eaters, so they're taking care of the really nefarious stuff, the green hair algae, the fuzz kind of algae, the algae that, you know, bother us the most. Blackbeard algae obviously is the most evil and famous for being so, but in general, those other algae can predominate in even the nicest scapes, especially in high-tech tanks where there's a lot of CO2 and a lot of light, and they will infiltrate the nooks and crannies of your plants and in a carpet, etc. Mollies are terrific remedies for that form of algae. So while these fish were invasive, well, I mean, I put them in there as food. So I'm happy they escaped on one hand, and I'm also glad that they're doing a really, really important job for me. Now this red tiger lotus used to be way, way bigger, and it has shrunk, but I'm willing to bet it's just going into its dormant low growth stage. There's the bulb there. And if I don't mess with it, even if I cut like this leaf, which is starting to degrade, if I just leave it, it will bounce back. And so help me God, those leaves, it will become like a bushel of bushel of red flowers, and it can reach up to the top. All that can happen, you can wake up one morning and see a shoot that's 2 inches, then 4 inches, and a week later, it's halfway up the tank, and you're back to the races. Right now, it's in a tiny stage, and that's what I think is going on there. This is a strand of Hygrophila pinnifatata. I just cut it from my other tank. I had stuck it in a crevice, but as I said, with all those other fish, the Plecostomus, the Corydoras, the Farawalla catfish, the coolie loaches. There's another Farawalla right there. Different kind than the red one. I believe they have different names too. They're not both Farawalla, but they have that long, long tail. But in any event, those fish push out the plants I stick into those crevices, if I didn't make that point already. Those are great crevices for planting, but the fish push them out, you know? And I'm familiar with that behavior from when I had a saltwater tank and various gobies and things. They weren't having any of that. You couldn't put a coral there or an anemone there. That's where they wanted to be. Unless they had a symbiotic relationship with that coral or that anemone, but that's a whole other video. There's some classic Amazon swords here. You do have to pull a bunch of the leaves here now and again to have it keep its nice shape and color. No big deal. This is Cryptocorn balancea right here in front. A stunning crypt with the rippled leaves and the red interior. I mean, so beautiful. A really neat alternative to Vallisneria. You won't get as much of it as fast, but I will tell you, once it does get going, that rhizome or rootstock is bodacious. As big as it can be as thick as your thumb and as hard as a branch underneath the soil there. That takes a while though. It's a desirable plant, and when I bring small ones into the LFS, they are always willing to trade for it. It shows well, it travels well, and it's beautiful, and it's different than all the other cryptocorns like these common ones down here. But these common ones creating that forest, and that forest was a hell of a lot thicker. I've done a lot of clearing out along the bottom front here so that the fish have a stage. But here you see what the right side has a more bodacious coverage of cryptocorn. I've got 4 Bolivian rams, and there's one right there looking right at us. Other than the angelfish, one of the few cichlids I have. There he is, very beautiful. Not quite as showy as the German blue ram, but they live longer. There's an Adelphi Corridora with the orange saddleback. Very beautiful as well. What am I looking at there? Something, another one of the progeny of one of my, I keep wanting to say stickleback, and that's totally wrong. And I beg your pardon, I don't have that one top of mind. I was saying Farawala, but there's another one I'm thinking of as well. If you know what it is, I do too. I just forgot. You can put it in the comments. They reproduce in this tank, both kinds, the red and the brown. I haven't seen my rainbow fish, or I haven't seen baby fish, just bottom dwellers. And what I mean by fish is, you know, rainbow fish, tetras, resboras, etc. But I have seen juvenile corriodoras, the fish I just mentioned, and the live bears, duh. This aquarium runs on a sump, which I'll show in another video. It's its own aquarium under the aquarium, and it has the 2 Kessel lights plus a very long Higer, just to add a little bounce, a little push of more color to the back of the tank. And I use CO2, which comes out on both sides. I don't have an air stone in this aquarium. And it's at about 79, 80 degrees. Any questions? By all means, hit me up. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, keep your hands in the tank, albeit carefully, and ciao for now.